and welcome to Merlin Reviews. Today we shall be discussing one of the prettiest male characters in shonen, the master strategist Kurama. Long before the start of Yu Yu Hakusho, Kurama was a legendary fox demon known as Yoko, a legendary bandit who was highly feared in the demon realm. Making a career based on stealing powerful artifacts, Kurama's ruthlessness caused rifts between himself and his second-in-command Yomi. Eventually, Kurama would cut ties with his fellow bandits and become a rogue thief. This eventually led to his severe injury by the elite hunter squad. He decided to hide within the body of the unborn child of a human woman. Originally, Kurama was very selfish and essentially evil. However, spending so many years under the care of a human mother caused him to develop compassion, in particular when she risked severe injury to save his life. His connection with her would cause Kurama to greatly suppress his demonic past. Once his mother became ill, he would be forced back into the criminal lifestyle, joining forces with Hiei to steal the artifact known as the Forlorn Hope, knowing that it could save his mother's life. This led to his encounter with Yusuke, who, upon learning of Kurama's intention to sacrifice himself to save his mother, caused Yusuke to offer himself as a sacrifice as an alternative. This was to avoid the obvious pain of a mother losing her son, which Yusuke knew all too well from his earlier experience with death. This action would cause Kurama to be indebted to Yusuke for his act of selflessness, and their friendship was born. Kurama would continue to be a part of Yusuke's adventures and become one of the series' 4 main protagonists. Of the 4, he was the most intelligent, calculating, and strategic of the group, often acting as the de facto leader when Yusuke was out of commission, much like Piccolo from Dragon Ball. He is extremely perceptive, being able to comprehend his enemy's movements and predict many possible outcomes to situations. Like the other 3, Kurama is an individual ruled by his emotions, though he is much better at keeping his cool demeanor and using cold logic to give himself an advantage in combat. However, his greatest drive is to protect those closest to him. When necessary, the old Yoko rage can take over. 2 particular examples of this come to mind. The first taking place during the Dark Tournament, when a demon who is obviously outclassed by Kurama threatens to use a bomb on his mother if he doesn't stop resisting. While Kurama does try to be merciful in most cases, there are some situations where he simply is not. This demon, named Roto, met with a very violent end at the hands of Kurama's death plant. He would later force Elder Togoro into a stasis of eternal torment in the conflict with Sensui. Besides his intelligence and ruthlessness, the greatest attribute he has is his relation to his friends. Being of demonic origins, he is close with Hiei and often tries to keep the abrasive demon calm under frustrating circumstances, acting as a voice of reason for Hiei and for the rest of the group as well. He is also incredibly loyal to Yusuke, due to the selfless act mentioned previously. Kurama is essentially 2 beings often at odds with each other, with a demon warrior being redeemed through prolonged contact with a human soul. Though a significant player in the whole series, Kurama, much like Hiei, doesn't really have complete development until the 3 Kings arc, when he is forced to face his criminal past and use his influence in the demon world to bring about peace. It's here we learn that deep relationships were always a factor for Kurama, even if his alliance with Yomi didn't end particularly well. It also provides early evidence that not all demons are made alike, and there is some semblance of hope to attain peace with the demon world. Kurama basically fills the role of the wise, calculating member of the group, often found in anime and other types of fiction, among the 4 basic personality types. Think Ninja Turtles. He also meets the qualification of the handsome protagonist, giving female viewers someone to more obviously admire. He often provides exposition for the audience and acts as the logical center of the themes, as opposed to Kuwabara as the emotional center. He also has the most intricate and interesting backstory, providing a unique perspective on how complicated the often black and white demon world actually was. His charisma alone sets him apart from the other 3 easily. When it comes to Hakusho, one of the best aspects of the series are the well-developed and interesting characters. Of the main 4, Kurama is probably my favorite. At first I didn't feel he made much of an impression, but as the series progressed, he is shown as being more diverse in his personality than any of the others. I've always been drawn to more intellectual and restrained characters, since I find their presentation noble as a manner to respond to various events. It's something you can honestly try to emulate in real life. I also really enjoy his backstory and even his design, being the brightest and most vibrant looking of the characters. His plant-based powers are often very enjoyable to watch as well, being more aligned with timing, planning, and strategy than with brute force. Much like Kurama himself, the plants often represent great beauty on the surface, but with an underlying deadly force that you shouldn't underestimate. Though on the surface he may be the kindest of the group, he can equally deal out the greatest amount of pain and suffering to his enemies when it's necessary, suggesting a deep emotional core to his being. He's also arguably the second strongest character, though between him and Hiei this is never solidly decided. Still, even if Hiei is stronger, Kurama would probably defeat him through sheer strategy. Ultimately, Kurama is a fascinating introspective character for the series, and continues to remain one of its most endearing characters. Well, those are my thoughts on Kurama. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, requests are welcome. Alright my friends, Merlin out, stay magical.